Thank you for checking out crypto.chartguys.com, the source for technical analysis in the cryptocurrency world. We are proud to announce our own crypto alert system designed to give you the most critical technical trading information possible no matter where you are. Keep your eyes on the market with mobile or email alerts for MACD crosses, RSI levels, and even inside bar alerts for dozens of coins across multiple exchanges. New features and proprietary ChartGuys indicators are already in development. Our alert system is very easy to customize and utilize, so don't hesitate to sign up for the most effective crypto trading tool on the market at crypto.chartguys.com. Hey everyone, checking in on the big three here. Going to keep it mostly shorter term, but we'll look at the longer term daily charts just to see where we stand. The top is in. I went live at noon today, about 6 hours ago, before the major dump occurred, and I said the top is in, and it was because of the pullback that we saw that now pales in comparison to the huge pullback, but it was that pullback that had us all cash and very cautious up at these levels. We knew we were overextended. We knew consolidation was coming, and it just happened in a waterfall way faster than we were anticipating. But we had the usual action. If you were trading in the summer, the exchanges going down is no surprise. When you have tons of volume, tons of people trying to log on, the system freezes out and it makes trading a nightmare. It's hard to work around that. If you are trading and your exchange is freezing on you, stop trading and go all cash. Be safe and protect yourself. There's no better feeling than being all cash and watching the entire crypto space, all of these big three, dump 20%. That is what keeps us ahead of the game as traders and allows us to continually profit rather than just holding. So that's what we had. There were a lot of observations today. Check out that little 10-minute video I did. It's on the YouTube channel. Just some correlations I was noticing with the stock market. We were seeing downgrades in the semiconductor names that have been running thanks to the crypto market all year. We had downgrades and they were dumping 5 to 7%, which is a huge amount in the stock market. It is my opinion that institutional investors shorted those names. They shorted GBTC, which is the only real way that you can get exposure to Bitcoin in the stock market right now. And then they came and shorted cryptocurrencies. That's my firm belief. And I do believe that a lot of short covering occurred, but that was the signal. And it happened about 4 hours before the overall dump. The downgrades came in. The dump happened in the semiconductor stocks. A few hours later, a huge market dump in the cryptocurrency space. This is a big bearish reversal spinning top. It shows indecision. Our top is in for now. That's not really a question at this point. The question is, how much consolidation are we going to see? Let's look at the shorter term time frames. And really, I've been watching everything on the 15-minute chart. And this is when I went live and I said the top is in, and it was this candlestick right here that told me that top was in because of the high bear volume, taking out hours of uptrend in just 15 minutes. That's a wake-up call. It says, heads up, there's a lack of support here. We then had a lower high, and as soon as that lower low hit, the floodgates opened up and we dumped significantly. So in the end, in just a couple hours, we went from $11,200 down to $8,600. That is a massive dump. It is dumps like this and volatility like this that we absolutely love as traders, but it's going to hinder long-term adoption on anything with cryptocurrencies. If this cryptocurrency can dump 20% in 2 hours, who's going to adopt it? Who's going to start accepting it in terms of, Amazon or names like that? It's not going to happen. Perhaps when we have these future trading opening up on the stock market that can, tighten up some volatility a little bit. I don't know what it's going to take to do it, but if you want mainstream adoption, you do not want to see this kind of volatility. The dollar, a huge day for the dollar, is dropping or breaking out 1%, and that obviously is not the case here. So traders love it. Long-term holders do not love it because it lengthens the distance that people want to get close to it in terms of long-term acceptance for, general daily usage. And that's the same for Litecoin as well. I know we're not going to buy coffee with Bitcoin, but if Litecoin is going to drop from $100 to $75 in one day, that's just not going to be acceptable to be used as a currency. So here on Bitcoin, we're watching an equilibrium play out. And we certainly were very we were anticipating this equilibrium pattern as soon as the low was found and the bounce started playing out. If you remember back in the summer, the exchanges going down usually marked the start of the bounce. That was the case for GDAX. We saw that today a bit. I personally didn't get shut out of any exchange, which was nice. I traded Ethereum and Litecoin on the bounce. I'll point out those trades in just a bit. We're also going to go over the alerts because the alerts were firing off everywhere. We had heads up alerts that the bears were coming out, and we had bounce alerts that it was time to get in. And I had a funny message I'll read in just a moment where we had this member, and you can guess where he's from, but I love the message, and I'll read it here right now. He said, "Hey, mate, just wanted to let you know, thanks for the alert system. Cashed out of everything yesterday, feeling there was too much euphoria and not much support. Alerts were firing and bought in at 9,100 BTC USDT this AM. Cheers, mate." So I love knowing where people are from by the messages they send. But that alert system gave heads ups for the sell-off and the bounce. So here's the all-out dump. Volume climax hit the low. We bounced very significantly. And again, we went from 8,600 to almost a $1,900 bounce in 30 minutes. That's absolute insanity that can even happen. So we then hit the top. That's our low of the dump, high of the bounce. That's our range of the equilibrium. We now have a higher low, lower high, higher low, tightening range. Support 98.50, resistance 10,415, 10,415. That's the range to be watching. With a bull break, we're looking up at psychological resistances and 1083. With a bear break, we're looking at 9,525, 9,000 psychological, and then 85.95, the low of the pullback. We are going to get a lot of information within the next couple of hours with how these equilibriums break in terms of the momentum and direction that we're going to be headed for tonight. So I'm not doing anything. I'm all cash and patiently waiting for a break of this equilibrium pattern. That's all you need to be looking at in terms of levels. In terms of the alert system for Bitcoin, so we had bearish indications. Bearish MACD cross followed, or we had an oversold, let's start again. Overbought RSI on the 15-minute time frame. We got a bearish MACD cross. When the RSI is overbought and you get a bearish MACD cross, you know consolidation is coming. And then there was the oversold 15-minute RSI, letting us know the all-out dump was coming. And shortly after that, about 15 minutes after that oversold indication, we then saw the bounce play out. So there were bearish signals to exit up at the top, and then there were bullish signals to get in on the bounce. Checking in on Ethereum, same thing where we have the big bearish candlestick showing indecision, which favors the bears after such a run. And looking at the 15-minute time frame that we're watching this move on, we had the all-out dump, the volume climax down at the lows. We dropped from essentially 491 to 402, an $89 drop in an hour. The bounce high hit 459. So the range was 402 support, 459 resistance, higher low at 424, and I'm rounding. Double top at 459, and now another higher low at 432. The range is tightening up. The range to be watching is 432 support and 459 resistance. This is essentially an ascending triangle pattern with a horizontal resistance line and higher lows as the range gets tighter and tighter. Break of 459, and the next level we're looking at besides psychological is really up at 480. So we're looking at 460, 470, 480 for the bulls. And because of the volatility we've seen today, the moves in these cryptocurrencies are a lot more magnified, and you can be quick and make very significant gains locking in those gains. I personally am locking in all of my trades because I am confident that we are going to see some further consolidation on the daily time frame, and I want to be all cash while that's happening. So I'm locking in profit on bounces and patiently waiting for other setups that I'm comfortable with. Those are the clear levels on Ethereum to be looking at. The alerts on Ethereum that gave the heads up, 30-minute price shear for the bears set off in the upper 480s. The hourly price shear for the bears set off at the upper 460s. And then we had the all-out dump and the oversold RSI indicators. The hourly RSI on Ethereum did touch into oversold territory. That was another signal to be looking to buy the dip. So all kinds of alerts. A lot of people have different preferences, whether they like inside bars or RSI or MACD or TCG crosses, whatever it is. There are both bearish and bullish signals. And not only are these signals saying, hey, it's time to lighten up and get out when you get a bearish price shear alert, but it's also a bear signal if you're looking to short, and depending on what exchange you're on. But if you're looking to short, these are signals that can be used for that as well. So Litecoin, same daily candlestick. The correlations are picking up with this volatility. 15-minute time frame, all out dump, volume climax when the bulls showed up for the bounce, 76.01 support, 93 resistance, higher low, 85, lower high, 92.65, higher low, 86.86. That's the tight range to be watching. 86.86 support, 92.65 resistance. If we break 93, if we break 92.65, we can assume we're going to break 93. And then after 93, I'm looking up at 97 and 100 psychological. So it's all about the 15-minute equilibrium patterns and which direction we're going to break from them. And that is, again, going to give us the direction to be looking for tonight. If we break bearish, I do not want anything to do with the cryptocurrency tonight. I want to be all cash, not worry about anything sleeping, and deal with potential setups tomorrow. Litecoin signals going off, 15-minute bear price shear triggered at $99. And then we had a short-term bounce and the all-out dump. Same thing. We had hourly RSI signals going off, and that was really the clear signal for oversold bounces, hourly RSI levels on both Ethereum and Litecoin, whereas Bitcoin did not get that hourly oversold, just missed. Actually, I take that back. It did. I did get a signal there. But when the candlestick was down at the low of the day, that hourly RSI did trigger off. So let's go over some of my trades and then we'll wrap it up. So I traded Litecoin first thing and I was too early. So I adjust when I'm too early and I don't just bag hold. I take a loss and reposition myself. So when we started pulling back, I obviously did not anticipate the magnitude of the dump that we were going to see. I started scaling in the low 90s. So I had my orders I had my orders initially in the low 90s, let's say 92.10, 91.10, and I wanted to get filled on a flush. As soon as this little 10-minute bounce played out, that told me this is not a flush. That cooled off hourly, or that cooled off the short-term RSI levels enough that I pulled my buy orders and I said, okay, we are not heading down in a flush manner like I want to be filled on for a quick bounce. I pulled my orders and said, we can now see some more significant downside because of that little brief pause that allowed for cooling off of RSI levels. So I pulled things and I repositioned my buy orders and I started putting them in the upper 89, 88, 87. Those were filled and we filled significantly, dropped down to 85.55. We started to bounce. I was watching Bitcoin the entire time, of course, knowing the correlation was so strong. I saw that we did not have much upside on this move. We had a bear break to lower lows. I sold my position at a loss into the $85 wall of support. There were 12,000 coins at $85. I sold into it. I ate my loss. At that point, it was probably about a $4 or $5 loss. That's a bigger loss than I've taken in weeks. And I was completely fine doing it, knowing that my game plan would be to then buy the further dip and knowing that when the bounce played out, it would be even more significant because of that flush. So from there, I started scaling down my orders in all-out crash mode. And what I mean by that is I had my orders at 77.10, 76.10, 72.10, 70.10, 67.10. I just spread out 5 orders all the way down, skipping some space in between. I only ended up filling about 40% of my position, but that was pretty much at the bottom, 76.10 and 77.10. And then the magnitude of the bounce that we saw, even only just having a 40% position, that was very significant gains, and it made back all of my losses on that trade. And then from there, I jumped over to Ethereum and saw that Ethereum was lagging on the bounce. So look at this 5-minute bounce. We had an inside bar break bullish on the 5-minute time frame. And on Ethereum, we look at the same kind of 5-minute bounce that played out. And look at the size of the candlestick there. Nowhere near as strong as Litecoin. So I saw the Litecoin breakout. I sold my coins on this candlestick. I then went over to Bitcoin. I said, okay, Bitcoin 5-minute bounce, more significant. Litecoin, more significant. Ethereum is a laggard. There was this upper wick here. I said, all right, I'm going to anticipate that the bulls are going to play laggard here. I just market ordered, got filled all the way up to 430. And then from there, we shot up into the 450s and I sold it mid 450s for a $15 gain. So that is how sitting all cash, starting with a bad trade, getting in too soon, pivoting and reacting to the conditions as they're occurring, exiting for a loss, re-entering, take away that loss, and then profit on Ethereum. So the fact that we can have this kind of pullback and be green on the day, if you are one of those traders that's in that scenario, congratulations, because that is ideal. A lot of people took a big hit today to their, portfolios, where if they looked early this morning, they're up huge, and now just like that, they're down a lot more significantly than where they were. So able to avoid all that, being cash and able to capitalize on these oversold bounces. And if we break these 15-minute inside bars bearish, we're going to get another oversold bounce opportunity. So 15-minute support here, if they break, look at the 4-hour RSI here. Nowhere near oversold on Bitcoin. Let's see where we're at on Ethereum. So if we see another leg down, we're going to be approaching 4-hour oversold levels. It'll be worth keeping an eye on. If the hourly RSI on these names drops down back oversold, that's worth keeping an eye on as well. And we'll be watching the support, the low of the dump. And that's all that we've got until we head into tomorrow. Very simple. 15-minute levels, very clear. If it's a bear break and you're not going to play bearish, you're all cash and you're patiently waiting, and you're not trying to force anything. You're waiting for these clear setups and clear breaks to occur so you can have confidence. This is the kind of setup where being cash makes things so much easier. There's no stress. There's no panic. We can skip all of those emotions. We can lock in an insane 2 weeks of gains and patiently wait for re-entry. If you're learning technical analysis, do not try and trade in this environment. Today was one of the most difficult days to trade that we've seen in months, and it's asking to lose money if you are just diving in headfirst with little experience and little confidence. This is the kind of conditions that will eat you up alive. So I appreciate you watching. Thanks everybody for all the comments and shares and likes. Everybody has been digging the alert system, and it's really great for motivation for us to continue working on this project. And we're going to have some affiliate possibilities coming out, and we're going to be looking at adding these additional indicators in terms of volume and social media and all kinds of stuff. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to tomorrow. Looking forward to living life. See you soon.